Welcome to our 5th anniversary. Yay, jazz hands. This meeting is officially beginning and it is a celebration. And I am going to bring to this virtual birthday celebration our current president, DTM Lou Brown. Over to you, Lou.
Thank you, Madam Sergeant Arms. Welcome everyone to our last meeting of this Toastmasters cycle. I am so excited, not just because I'm rolling off. I mean, it is a lot of work, but quite frankly, I would love to stay on even longer. It is such a wonderful opportunity to be a president of this or any club, quite frankly. But I am so amazed at how many people are here today. And it's so nice to see some of our friends that we haven't seen in a while, Chris and Jim. I see Dr. Alexander. I'm looking around. I know I've seen a couple other faces that I haven't seen. Well, Trisha, I know we haven't seen you in a couple of meetings. And I thought I saw a few others. If I missed your name, so sorry. But again, thank you all for being here. It's so nice to be in a club where we have like regular attendance of near 30 members. This is our trifecta, our triple header. We have a meeting with a end of year celebration with a 5-year anniversary. Just so much going on this year. A jam-packed agenda. I am going to shut up right now because this is all about you. We're going to hop right into I guess I'll call it part 1 of our entire experience here, which is going to be David kicking off a very special presentation. Take it away, David.
All right, thanks, Lou. I'm going to show you a little glimpse at where we started. And hopefully you're going to look at that and say, wow, we've made some progress. Because when I show you this picture, well, I'll tell you, my office hasn't gotten any less messy, but I've gotten better at covering it up with green screen effects. So special effects do a lot to neaten up the office. And also probably gotten a little bit better at the camera angle so that you're not looking up my nose at quite that angle. But still, you'll hear some familiar voices here, and it's a trip back to memory lane, although some of you don't remember it. So,
does your mute all override our individual mutes?
I think so, yes. Well, I don't know, maybe you can unmute yourself, but...
You can unmute yourself.
All right. John, we're getting distracted by technology, but we'll do the best we can.
I should show up on the screen here sooner or later, right?
There we go.
Oh, good. You can see me?
We can.
I just see you. I still see you. All right. So, hello, I'm George Marshall. As David said, I'm the Chief Pathways Guide for District 57, and we are the very first district to launch on Pathways. Can you see my screen now?
We can.
All right, very good. So Pathways is a program that's been in development for years.
Yeah, Arlene, why don't you go ahead and make us official?
Fellow Toastmasters, I call this meeting to order. It is our first meeting of March and our first meeting as an official chartered club, online presenters. And I would like you to help me welcome our newly elected president and founder, David Carr.
Thank you, Arlene. So welcome to Online Presenters. This is a Toastmasters club dedicated to learning better skills for webinars and online events of all sorts. This meeting will be recorded. We say that at the top of the agenda to make sure that everybody has fair warning.
Toastmasters, guests, and special evaluator. Today I'm going to give you a glimpse at the easy green screen setup. It's a simple, cost-effective way you can do things like this and more. Oh. Here's what my real room looks like right now.
2 to 3 minutes per speaker, and then move on to the general feedback.
We'll do that.
All right. Timer. We'll do her thing.
All right. 2,
somebody, if
I'm
everybody.
gonna mute everybody again, and
Thank
you can
you,
unmute yourself, Roger.
And then we can come back and at some point talk about it, in fact, why that happens and what you can do to help others out besides just hit the massive mute button.
Join us. Join us. Come. Why would you not?
So thank you for joining us for the mini webinar contest at Online Presenters Toastmasters. My name is David Carr. I chartered this club with some help from my friends a little more than a year ago and have been serving since then as president. Tonight, I will be your contest master. This is not an official Toastmasters contest format, though maybe it should be. We thought it was important to hold a contest specifically built around the elements that make a professional webinar or online presentation effective.
And at first place in our first ever meeting webinar contest is Carol.
Hey, Carol. Oh, my day is made. My day is made.
All right. So I just wanted to share a few memorable moments there. Some of the things I want you to notice, first of all, we've gotten a little bit better at people knowing how to mute themselves and not having echoes on the line. As often, stuff still goes wrong, but we're better prepared for it when it does. We did a few things right, I think, in the very beginning. We had this series of workshops that we did, that we hosted to bring in experts on various things. Roger Corville, who you saw there, is somebody who we had in actually several times. You saw him, he was actually we had him as our guest evaluator. So he was the only evaluator for that evening. He evaluated all the speeches and gave some professional feedback as somebody who is an expert on webinars and online events to our members. So I thought that was pretty cool. We had him back as a celebrity guest judge, we called him, for our first webinar contest. And at some point, I think we actually overdid the workshops a little bit, where people said, hey, we need to be able to get in here and actually give speeches, right? Because that's why we're part of a Toastmasters club. We don't want to just hear from these experts or supposed experts. We want to develop our own expertise. And so we tried to work out some balance over time. And then when Lois and Nick came along as presidents of this club, they took that to a whole different level with VTMCon, of having a whole separate day program. Or at one point, we actually had a 2-day program. Nick, Lois, also Christian and Pamela brought it to that great next level. And there was some drama you might have heard about over the past year about calling it VTMCon and branding issues and legal issues with Toastmasters International. Doesn't matter. What matters is that there was innovation coming out of this club. And if we innovated a little too fast for some people's taste, that's kind of their problem. So we've done some great things in this club. I look forward to doing more great things in this club and bringing out the talents of our people, as well as, when it's appropriate, bringing in experts from outside who can help us level up our skills. I think that's enough for me for right now. I think I get a chance to come back later for some Q&A portion of the meeting. And let me hand it back to our Toastmaster of the day, Kim.
Over the past 5 years, we have naturally had 5 presidents. We have the pleasure of having 2 of them, other than me, with us here today, who are both members. I in the spirit of continuing with our celebration / anniversary portion of the meeting, would like to ask each of them, because this is all about them. I'm not going to ask me these questions. And quite frankly, I didn't even prepare myself to answer them. So I'm going to ask them a couple of questions. I'd like for each of them to share their thoughts. We have two folks with different personalities. Actually, all five of our presidents had different personalities, different styles, different legacies. So I think this will be very interesting as we hear from both David Carr, our founding father / first president, and Nick Lacani, who is our current immediate past president just before me. Nick, I know it is somewhere like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. for you. Thank you for hanging in there and being with us throughout the entire meeting. You, my friend, feel free to go as long as you like, up to 9:59 or 8:59, depending on where we're at. I'm in a different time zone. I'm sure David won't mind. That'll be your prize for staying with us. Okay, Nick, what was your greatest achievement during your term?
Well, Lou, I wanted to make an impact. It was important for me to make an impact because I was the first non-white and non-US president of this club. Some people think it's important, some people don't. I don't know. All I knew is I needed to make an impact. And I had a State of the Union speech. And in that, what I said was, I want the 3 C's. I want clarity, connection, and collaboration for our club and our members. And then during my year, we got a lot of things done inside the club. We got people have clear ideas, and I had a vision for VTM. I created VTM. It wasn't just for this club, it was for a number of online clubs. And we had the connection of our members inside our club and outside our club and collaborating with other people all over the world. And that carried on in the second VTM and in the EVVCon that David chaired recently. So born out of those ideas, I think that the impact on the club was that when I joined and before I became president, it was a very strong club, very inward looking though. And the biggest change I think I helped to come around with a fantastic board that I had was that I helped the members not only work with each other, but then look outside and work with others outside in different clubs as well. That's the biggest impact I feel as though I've made. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You may have answered some of this next question during the prior question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What did you learn from your time as president that you take forward with you?
So many lessons. First of all, I had a wonderful, I learned from Roger Fong, who was the de facto president when I first joined, and from Lois. It was wonderful for me. And Lois especially taught me from day one, stay in your lane, Nick. Stay in your lane. Allow the others to do their jobs. Allow the other board members to do their job, but then support them and make sure they're comfortable, confident. And what that did was, I've been president of, I think I've been president 4 or 5 times now. And this one year I had online presenters was the best, absolute best experience, because like you today, you said earlier, I didn't want to give it up. I didn't want to, if you tell me that I could be president next year, I take it with both hands right now. Yeah, so I think that stay in your lane, trust the people around you, and they will have your back as well.
Thank you. And I remember you passing that sage advice on to me as well, stay in your lane. And even though I had some bumper guards, I remember crashing through them a few times here and there, but tried to always get back in. Last question. What advice would you give our next president, Andrew Byrne, to help him and our club succeed?
Okay, so as I said a minute ago, I watched Roger, I watched Lois, And what I did was I built upon what they did before the start of the meeting. And I loved what they did because they got me excited, warmed me up before the meeting. Anticipation, when are they going to call on me? I want to introduce myself. I've got my 30 seconds, 15 seconds, whatever it is. And then I was able to make an impact. There was electricity in the air. That's what I would like to see more of. And that's what I try. I actually went one further and I actually brought in music and all that kind of stuff, you know me. And that sort of vibe sets up the meeting. It makes things exciting. People want to come more for that. The meeting is great anyway, but people will come for the beginning for that. And then afterwards, cut it and boom, allow people to talk about, allow people to chat as if the meeting's over. Let's have a chat in the bar or over a coffee or however you want to make it, because that is how you get in touch with people. Let's get more of that flowing again. There's not an awful lot wrong with the club at all. It's just a few little tweaks heading in the right direction.
And I'm so thankful that you also a Gen Xer. I believe you are, because you played some awesome 80s and 90s music when you were a DJ. So I appreciated that. Thank you. Okay, David Carr, our founding father president, although Nick did mention about Roger Fung being very actively involved. I didn't know to what extent, and now I have a much better idea of that and appreciation for it. Same three questions, David. I don't know if you wrote them down. I'll repeat them. What was your greatest achievement during your term as president?
Well, getting the thing off the ground, but I shouldn't claim too much credit for that. I mean, I was very fortunate to have people like Graham who actually had experience doing online Toastmasters, which I didn't have prior to this. I had never been to the meeting of another club that did online Toastmasters. I just decided I was going to figure out how to do it. There was also Phyllis Harmon and Carol McCullough. It's too bad neither of those are there here with us this evening, but they were also people who had experience in online Toastmasters and brought that in. Jim and Chris Gold were actually new to doing online Toastmasters, but they'd done so much other online video stuff that they brought a lot to the club, and many other people as well. I have no idea how Deborah Carr found me, but you know, I went out on the Toastmasters International Members Group, said we're starting a club, and a bunch of people came in and joined, and we were very fortunate along the way to have a lot of good people to contribute to making the club better, including those who weren't in the the initial crop, but who came along and saw other possibilities, like Nick.
Maybe Deborah went and did an ancestry.com test and figured out that she really is a long lost cousin of yours. Who knows? And you know what? That really is a testament to the amazement that is our club, because so many people got involved from day one to make sure that we succeeded. And it's amazing how far we've come.
You're one of them. I should mention that too. I did draw on my South Florida connection. So I think the South Florida concentration has been watered down over the years. We're more global today, but early on, Lou was former South Florida, had moved off to Chicago, but still had connections.
And that's a great part too, is being able to reconnect with friends.
Sorry, not the South Florida connection. It's the South Florida Mafia, isn't it?
Well, it's just cocaine cowboys. That's what we do in our spare time.
And David, what did you learn from your term as president that is a lasting skill for you? Or
yeah, I don't know.
Zoom skills?
Well, infinity, infinite number of things. You know, it was actually the first time. Well, I guess I had been president of a local Toastmasters club too, but I was fairly new to actually being in charge of anything. I would be involved in various nonprofit groups, and they would usually make me the secretary. Dave can take notes on things and type them up. So learning how to be in charge of something and to distribute responsibility appropriately. Of course, you guys know that you actually just are secretly part of the WordPress for Toastmasters beta program. So, thanks for putting up with that.
And I'm sure you've probably really expanded your WordPress skills as a result of this project alone. So wonderful. What advice do you give our incoming president, Toastmaster Andrew Byrne, to make sure he and our club are successful?
Well, I think Nick said it to you, Andy. Try and jazz it up a little bit. Project excitement. And what was the thing that I think it's a Winston Churchill quote about be brief and be done. Maybe make it a little bit more compact some of the time. Think table topics rather than 10-minute speech. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you, sir. We have about 5 minutes left. I am going to, in the spirit of time, Madam Toastmaster, kind of just take things over as president, if you are okay with that. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. And just say thank you to everyone for being here for this occasion. All of you for being a part of our wonderful club. Some of you from day one, some of you from last week. I think our newest member may have joined just a week ago. So this is really amazing that we continue to grow. David, thank you so much for that video. That was such a walk back through time. I really enjoyed it. And it's amazing how many people that I remembered throughout that time. I was like, wow, there's probably 20 plus people in that video that I kind of almost forgot about because I haven't seen them in a long time. So thank you for that. Thank you to all of you officers that are here for being an incredible part of the team, the executive board. I know there's been some trials and tribulations and different challenges over the year. One of the things that I really loved about this past year is that we were able to introduce at least one new element, which is almost like a great thing for every president to do is do something, add your own flavor to the meeting, your legacy, what it is. And the tech tip, or I guess tip of the day, not just necessarily tech, was the new thing we added. And we're also doing something that's kind of go over to the next term, which is a presentation of some new piece of software. As often as we can do it this year, we're doing Prezi. And Nick, by the way, will be doing that Prezi. I don't know if it's called a presentation or just a Prezi presentation, but anyway, Nick will be conducting a Prezi presentation for us in the near future. I think I'll call it our first workshop. So we hope that all of you can join us for that.